Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And friends, we have a whole lot to talk about this week. We've kind of missed last week because I had a little whoopsie with the scheduling.
A whoopsie. No, somebody was on a trip.
Well, there was a trip, and also there was a holiday where we could have done it, but then me and Steven were like messaged the next day. We're like, wait, did we say we were going to do it yesterday? And we kind of
Oh, right.
We kind of forgot, so...
Hey, I went and
That's
saw
okay.
Deadpool, so I made good use of my time.
I played golf all
That's
last
a good
week.
movie. Yeah, and also good use of your time.
I haven't seen
I
it
was just
Deadpool yet,
busy.
actually.
It's actually so funny.
I'll get to it
Highly
eventually.
recommend.
I'll probably watch it on streaming whenever that comes.
Probably.
It's just not worth it to go out. I like my indoors.
About a month after it starts streaming too.
Exactly. Honestly, I've done a good job of avoiding spoilers this whole time, so it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the internet does a pretty good job nowadays to like warn you that something is going to have a spoiler in it before you like continue reading something, so that's good.
Or I wouldn't even say like because like scrolling like TikTok and Reels, people share clips and stuff. Like you see it, it's like you can immediately know it's in a movie theater, and you're just scrolling right by it. Like I'm not even gonna risk it. So yeah, anyway, it's a good week, I would say. We have a lot of stuff to get caught up on. We have a lot of F1 news, Indycar Championship coming to a finale this weekend, NASCAR playoffs, end of regular season, and playoffs started. Like there is so much going on. I feel like the best
All
way to
the
do
weeks.
This, I feel like the best way to do this is just kind of go series by series and just hit what we want to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably a good call.
Good idea.
So what do you want to go with first? I think we have to save IndyCar for last, just because that one has a championship this weekend, and we can talk about that going into it and then give predictions at the end. But I would say NASCAR or F1 to start.
What was I say? Which one is least consequential? Do we want to give Taylor a chance to gush about Leclerc now, or do we want to make her wait?
I think on that reaction, yeah, we can talk about F1. We can start with that.
So, all right. So, like, Ferrari's winning the championship, right? Right? Leclerc just gonna win every race now? No. Wow. It was nice to see him win again, first
It
and
was.
foremost. It's just, like, nicer to see it happen in Monza. Fabulous.
I don't understand how like their car is like fantastic in Monaco and it just happens to be fantastic in Monza. Like, what did they do for those two specific tracks? But yet it can't work.
What a
everywhere else?
mystery. What a mystery.
Okay, but those are two different tracks, like in philosophy.
They are. I think, I don't know. Like, I think with Monaco, it's easier to say that it makes sense that Leclerc won because he's just traditionally been very good at qualifying there, and qualifying is everything for Monaco. But Monza, like, we know that the Ferrari, like, Monza is the track that they tailor their car towards. Same thing with Red Bull, tailoring their car towards the Red Bull ring. It's just a track that the Ferrari car usually favors. My biggest question is, what the heck is going on at McLaren?
Who knows?
I think we should throw that one to Steven. Steven, McLaren fan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
on,
would you like to comment on McLaren? Because,
off,
like,
If
What?
some
of course,
context?
if-
Let's explain what the hell happened to McLaren. Let's get some context for the race weekend. First, Ferrari wins. Fantastic. Leclerc, excellent job holding off basically the McLarens, who did a two-stop. Leclerc made the one-stop work.
and they almost fucked that up.
Who did?
Ferrari.
Leclerc was questioning the one-stop at the time.
yes,
I
of course
think
he
it was. Well, I think it was also more if we're going with a one stop. Why are we pitting right afterwards? Why don't we extend this a little bit?
It
That's
worked.
where I think
Listen, it
it did
works.
work.
I don't know.
It did
I'm
work.
not going to say
I think
shit.
but it's almost like they sort of stumbled into it.
That's the
Well,
Ferrari
they may
way.
have.
That is
That
true.
is the
That is
Ferrari way. It's not a Ferrari win, like without a little bit of stumbling. So they got there in the end. Resulted. So McLaren.
Anyways, Sean, continue with your explanation.
I was just gonna say, like, so that happened. McLaren had the whole, basically, which driver do you want to be your number one driver? You had a squabble with them also in the first lap. There was a whole lot going on between them.
Papaya rules.
Whatever
Papaya
that
rules.
means, apparently.
Whatever the heck that is.
So yeah, like there was just a lot going on with McLaren. Red Bull didn't look like they had any real pace this weekend.
Oh no, they're in Suffer City. They are in Suffer City.
And Mercedes also just didn't really look there. Like, it really was a McLaren Ferrari battle, which I don't really think anyone expected going into the week. And now McLaren has to figure out, well, clearly you look like you're the number one team now.
Yep. How are you going to manage your two talents?
Yeah.
Well, they're two number one drivers.
Yes. Which, I mean, based off talent, sure, maybe. I don't know. The papaya rules thing, if Norris could, start a race properly, that might help.
Yeah, he has terrible starts.
Yeah.
And wasn't it? It wasn't Monza. It was the race before.
There's multiple cases before this.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is he specifically commented on how he was working on his starts and he was really gonna try and have a really good start, and then it was just terrible yet again.
Well, he's what, 0-for-7 in converting, not even converting a pole to a win, converting a pole to leading after the first lap.
It is actually free money.
Yeah, that is just saddening at this point, right? So
Terrible
I don't even think you can be mad at Piastri taking the lead off him in the end. Because who's to say he's not going to fumble the start somehow anyways, overrun the first corner, and then, well, fuck, we're completely screwed. So
if you're in the position, you should take it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, Norris hasn't shown that he can be competent at starting a race. So, yeah, if Piastri gets stuck behind him because he can't start, and then that compromises his start, then we're still sitting here smashing our heads into the table. But then it's also possibly, well, now they've both lost time and or spots. So, because Norris ended up losing, one spot, I think? Because they were sort of all over each other through 1 and 2, and a little bit 3 and 4, right? So,
yep.
I don't know. Because then the other part, so the first part of me is let him race, because Norris hasn't proven to be a good starter if Piastri's going to outpace him. And honestly, I think Piastri's shown to be the better driver through a lot of the races. I know Norris handed him a win, but at the same time, I think Piastri has looked better on track. You think of how Spa turned out, where he was running down the leaders for a little bit and Norris was in the second group. He was running down Leclerc this time as well on similar strategy. But then again, you look at what's the point difference now
For who?
Between Norris and
Piastri or Leclerc?
Max.
Oh, 62.
62 points. So every point's going to count, and you just gave Max another 2 points to work with.
So, okay, I want to flip this up. Steven, you're a McLaren fan. What do you want to see? You get to go in there right now and you get to knock fucking heads together and be like, okay, you're doing this. Stop what you're doing. Do this.
I think it's you got to give Norris the shot at the championship. Personally, you're gonna catch their the constructors. That with how Perez has been, you're gonna catch him in the constructors. That's not a fucking question at this point. You're 8 points back.
Yep.
you gotta work it so that way Norris has the best chance possible to win the drivers as well. 60 points, you can make that up. One bad race from Max, which you had this week, but like realistically, you need him in a not scoring any points at all to fully realize that. But yeah, I think you need to prioritize Norris as much as possible here. Next year, in the end, if Piastri turns out to be the better driver the rest of the year, then yeah, next year you hand it to him but this year he doesn't have a shot at the title. He's not going to catch him.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's 50, like almost 50 points back of Norris as of right now. So he's 110 points back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of Max. That's at this point of the year, that's almost insurmountable unless Max is like fully out of the points in like 3 of the next 4 races. Then maybe the conversation changes. But at this point, I think you got to give Norris a shot. You already have the constructors. Piastri still owes Norris a little bit from getting the win handed back to him. So I think for the good of everybody else in the motorsport world, or at least in the F1 world, take the drivers away from Max somehow.
Like, here's a question, like, for you guys right now in F1, though. Who's the best driver right now? Like, who's the hottest driver? Mm-hmm. Is it? Could you make it against Piastri? Or even Leclerc?
You could.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me find. There was since or like pre-Europe and scoring or points scored since starting the Europe legs, and I think Piastri and Leclerc are the top 2 drivers, and they aren't split by a whole lot.
I'm looking at the last 4 races, which is like Hungary, Belgium, Netherlands, and the Italian Grand Prix. Mm-hmm. That's a great one to look at for the top 8 because everyone finished that race and everyone had like, you can get a good gauge of pace. Mm-hmm. Hilariously, Russell is funny as hell in the top 8 because he's gone 8-7-7 and a win that got taken away.
Right.
But so Hamilton's gone like 3-1. He got that win that was given to him. 8-5. Like, I feel like the Mercedes were hot coming into the European leg, and they've seemed to have cooled off post summer break. Like, the Ferraris seem to have done really well now after being kind of a joke there for a little bit.
Yeah, you can see improvements are being made in the team. I just like
Max hasn't won in 6 races. I have some
questions. No, I know, which like coming into the season is shocking because we were all like, Red Bull's gonna just have it, like the pace is there. But I'm honestly so curious what McLaren did to make their car so fast, so quickly. Or like so much faster than the others so quickly. Like I just want to know because it's giving
cheating?
Not explicitly illegal engines from a few years ago with what Ferrari did.
That's a good point. But like
it's giving loophole. It's giving loophole.
They may have found some loophole, but like, and there is a thing going around I've seen online with like the bendy wings again.
Yeah, but that was already thrown out.
But that's always an issue, and everyone complains about it every year. It's like that's not the issue. I think they've done something really well with like obviously the underfloor. I don't think we've seen under those floors in a while. Haven't had a McLaren up on a crane, so maybe something in there.
Maybe
I don't know. It's just like I think, and it's not because like they're the hottest thing or they're like winning a bunch of races or anything. It's just you ask questions when improvements happen so quickly because usually they happen like over the span of like an entire season, and then maybe by the end you're getting somewhere. So I don't know. It's either that or like the Red Bull car is like so much slower than it was at the beginning of the season because they lost Adrian Newey and their development is tanked. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did Newey just put a kill switch in that car where it's like, okay, you're no longer a top team?
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe Newey's next team will just also rocket to the top.
Here we
and be,
I had to know that
What?
this segue was coming.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Adrian Newey's gonna go to Aston Martin, whatever. Sure.
The best thing coming out of this is all the Lance Stroll Malfoy memes.
Yes.
My father can afford the best. What do you think about that, Potter?
Honestly, the most hilarious thing is I think at a certain point, depending on Aston Martin, how much money Lawrence has put into this team, he's going to fire Lance.
Might have to.
He honestly, it's more like gonna be like Lance is gonna hit 28 and just be like, I'm out. Here, take this young guy coming up. Bring, I don't know, checks list, Ollie Behrman into the team or some other young guy, and then win with them. And yeah, Aston Martin's gonna be awesome in like 3 years.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Stroll will decide that he wants to like go to WEC or IMSA or something and like just leave F1 because he's just done with it. Who knows? But Aston Martin does look scary with Newey in its ranks.
Fernando Alonso's gonna be there in a walker one day, just like holding on, like, get me a fast car finally. If Newey's brain just in a jar now, connected to a computer.
Yeah. I feel like if we ever did come to a point where people could like download somebody's consciousness, which is like ridiculous, but they would do that for Adrian Newey just to like have the engineering mind preserved.
They're probably already working on it. Lawrence Stroll's got the money. He's definitely throwing it towards that.
Oh yeah, he's probably like trying like some weird cryogenic thing or something like that.
Yeah, he's getting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Calling up Disney, seeing what they used.
Yeah, you thaw him out every what, December? He designs the new car, says, here's the upgrades you need to make, and you throw him back in.
No, every new regulation.
Yeah, I think Taylor has it. It's got to be every new regulation. It can't just be every year. That's
because that's not because every year's too much.
I know. Yeah, but I think watching the Red Bull this year, it shows how quick we can go off the rails.
True.
Right?
True.
So
fair enough.
Now, how much the Red Bull could have been improved, that's the only other question.
I don't know, but here again, like I just have so many questions about this McLaren. Like, I just want to know what they did.
Just because they're winning doesn't mean they're cheating. Come on, Taylor. When
Yeah,
it was
not
Red
everybody's-
Bull,
Ooh, it definitely means they're cheating.
When it
Not
was
everybody-
Red Bull
not
dominating,
everybody's Ferrari.
when it was Red Bull
They
dominating,
cheated.
it was wow. Newey designed a great car. What a genius!
No,
now it's
no.
McLaren winning, and it's like they must
False.
be cheating. Like Jesus, come on.
False. That is not what happened. Do you not remember? Red Bull was so dominant, and they were like, "Oh well, it must have been the cost cap. They were cheating." Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
it's
they
the
did
same
have,
thing.
They did have the.
You're like, bro, like, it's the same thing. Newey or not. Like, of course, Red Bull was accused of cheating, and then they got that brand for 2 years after
Yeah.
the whole cost cap scandal.
Fair enough. And they're like, the head of the team even cheated, maybe on his wife.
Yeah. And maybe perhaps it's the like I also do wonder like when did that penalty from the cost cap breach come into play? Because is it maybe affecting their development for this year's car?
Oh, it 100% is because they lost wind tunnel time. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
So
always
I'm
smart.
wondering if we're seeing the kind of the fallout of what happened a couple years ago. So and everybody is leaving that team. So
Yeah, some brain
It's a
drain there
mess.
too. Yeah. And you have to say, like, McLaren's done really well, probably getting guys, like, recruiting people over. That team's been, honestly, you can criticize Zach Brown. He's done a great job.
yeah, him and Andrea Stella. Because
Yeah.
so here's the thing:
Yeah.
it's not like it was just 2024 they turned it on. They went through the end of 2022, the winter. They revamped their entire like their three-headed monster of how they're developing the car, where you have Aero and I can't remember how exactly they split it up, but they brought in new heads from different teams. It took the first 4 months of the
sucked last year.
2023. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it took 4 months in 2023 to get through and figure the car out, and then it's like, well, okay, now we've got it figured out, and that was around Silverstone,
And it
right?
took off since.
And then ever since it's been slowly, like, it was the end of last year where it's like McLaren might be the best car on track to start next year, and that's what they've been. So it's not exactly like a huge surprise.
Again, back to like the original pole point where we started here. They have to learn how to compete as like a championship team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need, unless you're having two guys fight it out, a la Mercedes back in the Rosberg Hamilton days, which is fine when you were clear and ahead of the field.
Yeah. Now you're playing catch up,
But
also not playing catch up.
But everyone's
That's
so tight at the top. Like the top four teams are the top four teams. Like I think anyone can win now, given any week. I'm fascinated for Azerbaijan this week. We'll see how that goes. Like
here's what you do. Piastri. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna take out Max for the next 2 straight races. So that way Lando can get as many points as possible. Later on, after we've secured the drivers, we'll give you 2 wins. How about that? Problem solved.
But
here's the hilarious thing. If you actually do that strategy of taking out Verstappen, and if Lando has any kind of failure, Leclerc creeps right back into that top spot too.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, okay, say you go with that strategy. So you're willing to sacrifice the points for the Constructors' Championship just so Lando can win the Drivers' Championship. You know what I mean? Because like the top 3 constructors are within 40 points of each other. Like that's how close this fight is in the Constructors.
Yeah, that was.
I think Red Bull has like 447 or something like that.
446.
Yeah, 446. And Ferrari has 407.
Yeah, 39
So,
points.
Yeah, they're all within.
Ferrari
That's insane.
If Ferrari sneaks out of constructors with their driver being 3rd in the championship,
they very well could.
That'd be.
They very well could.
We're making fun of Hamilton being like, oh, why would he choose Ferrari? But now we're kind of like back in the whole like, well, maybe Ferrari's good again because they won a race. It's funny how everything's just changing. Like it changes depending on the weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to have this kind of a season.
Yes.
Where it's not a shoe-in for any team. It's actually a really tight competition because we haven't had that in Formula One in like quite a few years.
I want to say they were totally correct making these regulations.
Yes.
It's been great. It has been. This season and probably next are looking to be very strong in F1. You have 4 teams that can win any week.
Yeah. It's been great. It has been great to see.
And who knows if Aston Martin can creep up that quickly with Adrian Newey.
Exactly. Any other thoughts from the Italian Grand Prix you want to touch on? I think I have a couple, but just want to.
You have a couple?
Ahead. Go ahead. Start thinking.
First off, apologies for all the shit talking to Franco Colapinto.
Yeah, he had a good showing.
He
good
did.
First race. Good for him.
He was 12th.
I know. This is a good race for
I'm looking
Colapinto.
I'm looking at the starting grid. I was like, he finished 12th.
Yeah. We were like, oh, he's not even going to touch the back of the grid. You know what? He didn't look out of place. So.
No, and it kind of goes to show it was the right move for them to make. As like, I know as like tough as it seems for Sargent, like it was the right move for the team.
Definitely. And the other one, Kevin Magnussen has a race suspension.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And will be replaced by Ollie Behrman. In Haas.
We'll see how he does in that car. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think so. But the best part of that, it's now going to reset Kevin Magnussen's penalty points back down to 0. With like 7 races left in his F1 career of not giving a fuck. So.
Okay, now new idea. McLaren's going to pay off K-Mag to take out Verstappen.
Ferrari is going to pay off K-Mag to take out Verstappen and Norris.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming together.
It's all coming back to me.
But like looking also at all of like Kevin Magnussen's like penalty points, it's like really those are penalties. Like did you see the compilation of like everything he got penalized for? It's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
kind of-
weak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weak at best.
So anyway,
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. And it's like,
so oh, he taps a guy there. Oh, okay, that's
after
sure.
guy in Azerbaijan.
Oh yeah, everyone else fucking taps someone there. Whatever. So I feel bad for Magnussen, but hey, rules are the rules. Rules are the rules. Race clean, and he apparently has not done that.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to move on. Oh, also one last thing from the Italian Grand Prix, and this kind of goes into the Magnussen thing. So we had the only incident of the race was Magnussen taking out Tsunoda. And if you're actually looking back last few races, we haven't had a safety car in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing we're in Baku.
And also, I was going to say, good thing you had to replace the safety car from last weekend because it just fucking crashed, remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're a little rusty in the behind the wheel a bit. So, anyway.
Rougher go. Rougher
Yes.
go.
Yeah, that's all I got for F1
that-
stuff. I think
Yeah.
we've touched everything we've missed over the last little while.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
I'm sure
On to the next series.
Yeah. We'll finish up. We'll be like, ah, shit, we forgot something. Or tomorrow something will come out and we'll be like, ah, shit.
No, we know that tomorrow something's gonna break. 100%.
God
So.
fucking damn it.
What?
The thing
What?
you just fucking sent to the group chat, Steven. Damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry. McCaffrey is out, so I'm pissed.
Seriously?
Ugh,
And I know you didn't pick up Jordan Mason,
of course not.
dumbass.
Anyway,
Handcuff.
Okay, anyway.
it's week 1. I already quit fantasy. Like I do in every other fantasy
Oh.
we do. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. All right. You
NASCAR
don't win or
time.
lose on week 1.
NASCAR time. That's actually a fantastic segue to say that, Taylor. You can't win or lose on week 1, and you can't do that in the playoffs.
You can't
Yeah,
win or
it's-
lose on lap 1 either.
Nope.
You can really lose, though, in some other regards, but we'll get to that later. Look at you, Denny Hamlin. I'm assuming
Uh-oh.
you did. So anyway, yeah, NASCAR. We had the ending of the regular season. I don't think we've talked about any of those races, have we?
Nope.
Like, what's
we
the last
have
one we
Darling-
talked about?
The last one would have been
Uh,
Daytona. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
So we have Darlington and Atlanta at the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs.
That's very
Yeah,
good.
we have not talked about any of that. All right.
So, which was very exciting in 2 regards.
Okay, go ahead,
With
Steven.
with Chase Briscoe winning his way in over, and the setup for the end of that Darlington race was amazing, and the fact that you had Kyle Busch versus Chase Briscoe, and both guys are fighting for a playoff spot. So, listen, we have said a lot of negative things about the playoff format and how this works. That was a really fun ending to watch. It was almost like ball and stick sports, where you have 2 teams with like, what was it, like 10 years ago, I think in the NHL, the Rangers played the Flyers and whoever won got into the playoffs. That's basically what the last restart was like. You get in front here, you're in the playoffs. Unless someone pulls like an Austin Dillon and wrecks you, but that did not happen. And Chase Briscoe held on for a win and a playoff berth, which for SHR is a great way to end your run in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I think it's very fair. It was a good story to see Briscoe get in. It does suck that it came at the expense of Chastain, Buescher, Wallace, Busch.
There's a lot
guys
of
who
names that
should
be.
be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in the way that this is done, they had to be better and they weren't. So
Kyle Busch's end of the regular season is fucking hilarious. Like, he did give it a try.
he gave it a try, but he blew up in the middle of the summer so many times
I
that
know. Oh,
it just didn't work like that.
he didn't have a top 10 for like 8 races, and then puts up 3 top 5s to finish the season, can't get in the playoffs. Second to the last 2 races. Ooh, that hurts. But yeah, now we're in the playoffs, and first race was Atlanta, which pretty sure has fucked over so many people already. So,
Well, yeah. Yes and no.
You had what, 4-year playoff guys? Some of them being favorites, wrecked.
Ooh.
But like I'm looking at this
Like,
real. So
Briscoe
who was it?
versus
Was
Briscoe and Larson came together.
Oh, Larson.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, destroyed
Larson
the
just-
fucking
Yikes.
cars.
Yeah,
Destroyed.
Larson. What was it? Larson just sort of lost it.
He was something broke.
Right,
He
and-
snapped
and-
hard right into the
Yeah,
wall.
he said he thought the tire or suspension went down on the rear right or somewhere in the rear of the car. And
Watching
that's
it-
what caused the
Dude,
snap.
watching
I believe
it was
it.
nuts. Yeah, 'cause he's
Yeah.
he's going hard in the corner. All of a sudden, just goes hard right, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't like a bobble that you caught. That's something
No.
going
No.
wrong.
That was how do we put this? Not a skill issue.
No, but there's something to be said about Kyle Larson's ability to wreck a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I think someone pulled it up. He's like, never had a finish bad. It was something stupid where like Atlanta is just his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one track where he like never does well. So I think at this point, you're glad that you built up the point lead that you had. You're still what 50? So he's 15 points to the good right now. This is why you bank all those points in the regular season. So that way, if something like this happens, you're good. And then you
Yeah.
can take it to Watkins Glen and Kansas, where Watkins Glen, I mean, he's not really a road racer in the Cup cars, but he can hold his own well enough. And then Kansas, I don't know what his Kansas stats are like, but I mean, they can't get much worse than what his stats are at Atlanta. So you think with the skill that he has and in a points lead, he should be okay. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, who he didn't wreck the car. So they changed something within the engine. I can't remember what it was, but that was causing issues. But they swapped something on his car because he was reporting issues. They swapped it on Truex's car and Gibbs's car. But the 11 was just never running well this weekend.
They got taken out in the very last lap.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, you got involved in the wreck too. It's like, oh, guys are wrecking. Maybe you can get a good finish out of it. No.
Yeah. Well, because I think they were discussing like strategy. So you only had 4 cars technically not finish. I mean,
yeah.
But Atlanta in the past has been a race of attrition where since it's sort of turned into a super speedway, you sort of wait for the big one, make up your spots there. You're already starting at the back of the pack.
It's interesting that it's like a race of attrition, but guys can repair the cars and get them out there. Like, did you see Blaney's car?
Blaney fucking.
He was in pieces.
Yeah, and then being at the second or third row on the last restart, I was like, how? Why does my iRacing simulation never do this?
Yeah.
Why can't I fit? How do I get this pit crew into iRacing?
How do I get speed with damage? That doesn't work. Yeah. He finished third, which is like, okay, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Logano won, so he's the first to advance, and everyone's kind of picking up on the fact that, hey, maybe Logano's really good at this kind of playoff format, because it seems like every other year he's made the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they were pointing out. It's like every even number ending year is when Logano will do well.
Literally every other year, and it has to be even number. Yeah. So.
That is weird.
So Joey Logano, Cup champion. Congratulations.
I can believe it.
Yeah, maybe. It could be his year
he's-
again.
He's locked in, but this is the one thing I still get frustrated with trying to navigate this. So he's locked in, so he's +0, or he's showing as even as the first driver. And I don't know where he filters back. Oh, so he filters back out to 5th in terms of actual points.
Yeah.
So he still has to have a couple good races, but to really sort of cement himself in there. But he should be good for at least 1, maybe 2 more rounds.
Who do you think at this point is the first 4 out? Because usually we kind of do the whole playoff thing. We usually make our brackets and we do our predictions.
Yeah.
But I feel like we kind of missed the boat on that.
Yeah, we did.
So
Just a little
here,
bit.
we can still do it. We can still do it the same way. I mean, we got 1 race of data, so we sort of have an idea, and some guys are a little more out than
Logano.
others.
I want Logano.
No,
Logano's,
go away.
Logano's in. Blaney is plus 45. Bell plus 40. Reddick plus 33. Byron plus 33. Bowman and Cindric are plus 27. Don't know how Cindric got. Well, Cindric finished top 10, so that's how he got up there. Yep. Elliott, Suarez are both plus 20 in the plus 20s. Larson, despite the wreck, is plus 15. Down at the bubble, so now we're at 11 and 12. Hamlin is plus 2. Gibbs is plus 1. Keselowski minus 1. Burton minus 16. Truex minus 19. And Briscoe minus 21. So I think the bottom three there are pretty much guaranteed to be out. Like Briscoe,
so.
Yeah.
Briscoe and Burton are in off late wins at the end of the season. They weren't up there in points to begin with. That's pretty safe. Truex has he looked decent at the start of the year compared to how his playoffs ended last year. I don't think the way he's been driving for the last 7-8 weeks he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
So, and then really it comes down to Keselowski, Hamlin, and Gibbs. So who do you guys think is the odd man out there? With a road course. And
Yeah, cause I'm like, okay, road course, so like Suarez will probably be safe in that.
Yeah.
Well, Suarez is Suarez, like the guys in the 20s are probably really good. Like Suarez is
Hamlin
plus
usually
22.
struggles, but I think Hamlin could actually win at Bristol. So
Maybe Gibbs.
It could be. He started off hot and he's been slowly petering out.
For the
Yeah.
absolute lulz, I want Larson to get knocked out.
For the lulz. Well, you never know.
That will just show how much of a sham the playoffs are for and then Larson to
True.
keep winning as the season goes on, because it's no, this guy should not be a champion because he had a bad 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
missed the race because of weather.
Yeah.
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 So, I'm gonna say Larson or Gibbs don't make it. That's.
I'm gonna go with Gibbs.
Yeah, it's probably Gibbs. Hamlin, I think is pretty good at Bristol.
I like how we're all assuming also Keselowski gets out,
Well, because he's been relatively consistent.
but he's not great on road courses though.
He isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if it was coming down to a win, how's he been at Bristol this year? I'm very curious how he's been. 'Cause that could also really sway things.
I can hear the cat literally headbutting the door and trying to get in.
Well, I mean, he's got no brain cells. He's got no brain cells to start. So,
Buddy, why are you so needy?
It's just so
Bristol's-
funny to see how much of a different cat he is now compared to 5 years ago.
When we had him at school, yeah, he was so aggressive back then.
Oh, he was just
Yeah.
mad. And to be fair, I get it.
Now he's just a little ball of love. Anyway,
Yeah, he
I think
is.
I think it's good. I think Keselowski will be all right. Bristol, he's been top 10 both times, including a third place this
Okay.
year. So I'd say he's pretty safe. Gibbs, I think he'd have to have a strong finish in the road course. I mean, he
wasn't he
finished
good at
ninth.
Chicago?
Chicago. Chicago, he was third. So
yeah.
he could, and he was ninth in Bristol this year,
Dude, I'm
fifth
saying,
last
I'm
year.
saying for
So
Larson's gonna be
you know what?
Larson's gonna be done.
It might be Keselowski
Okay.
too. If Keselowski has a really rough showing on the road course in Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Also, all you need is one guy to get punted at the road course in the playoffs, and
Or anywhere.
But you have a 30-year field who could basically get wrecked at any point and ruin their playoff chances.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Walmart sign just falls down on the track and completely fucks up the strategy. Who knows?
I'm telling you that was staged. Conspiracy.
Yeah,
It's all a conspiracy.
But yes.
I believe it.
Anyway, do you want to pick a?
I'll
who do you
say
think is gonna
Keselowski.
win? Okay. Do you want to pick?
Who we
who
think
think's
is gonna win?
Win the NASCAR championship.
Yes. William Byron.
Yeah, shocker.
Shocker. I mean, why not? Why not? I honestly, I was going to go between Byron or Blaney.
Man, fuck you, because I wanted Blaney.
Yeah,
I want to
Blaney's
say
still a
Blaney.
good choice.
Yeah, I think Blaney can still win again.
Okay, so you.
Mhm.
It's like part of me wants to say Larson will fight back because he's just been so good this year, but that's a lot of points. I'm gonna go with Tyler Reddick. He's been my guy this
Okay,
year, so
fair
I'm
enough.
gonna go with
Oh,
Reddick.
okay.
And I think
like it.
he's got the skill to do it, and he's
Yeah,
hasn't wrecked
true.
out and fallen back yet.
Fair
So
enough, fair enough.
congrats on Tyler Reddick for wrecking out this weekend.
I'm surprised no one
Yeah.
said like Hamlin just to screw him over.
I
before-
think he
close
can do
enough.
that himself.
Fair enough. Before we move on to like I guess or IndyCar for our final topic, did you guys see anything with like the NASCAR charter things going on?
Yes,
No.
all those shenanigans.
I don't really haven't read too much of the details, just kind of seeing like.
Oh
some of the
wait,
stuff
hold
about-
on. Is this like the forcible signing thing that I may have seen on Twitter?
Yeah, where apparently teams feel like they were forced to sign. And
Well,
there's
so
two
they were-
teams that
they
have
were-
held
Yeah.
out, and
They were essentially given 5 hours to go through like 100-page document on how the charter system is up at the end of this year, and they will basically have a new charter system which details how the sports run, blah blah blah. And NASCAR sort of wrote it, didn't give anything or didn't give too much to the teams, and basically said, well, you got 5 hours to sign it, or we're taking away your charters and have fun racing for free. So, and I think it was 2311 and Front Row that's
Yeah.
basically said, nah, we're not signing this yet.
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
but every other team
Mm.
signed it. So it sucks that I think from a team standpoint, it sucks that you didn't get one of the big guys in either like a Gibbs. It's a little surprising that a Gibbs subsidiary, but not Gibbs, didn't sign it.
I kind of respect Denny Hamlin for that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
People may hate him as a driver. You know what? I got to give him the balls to the team owner. I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so I was listening to Teardown because they were going through this a little more in depth because I was like, I haven't read any of this and I don't know the ins and out of the NASCAR charter agreement fully. And even these guys were like, listen, we don't know what concessions they've asked for and what the holdups could be. You know, there's probably something tied to payouts and
Yeah.
this and that.
Probably.
But this could be a smart move from 2311 if they can get NASCAR in a courtroom,
Mm.
because you're gonna win a publicity battle against NASCAR. NASCAR already, from a business standpoint, the France family has not had the strongest history in terms of doing these business dealings. You have a strong owner in one of, well, I was gonna say one of your more liked drivers, but Hamlin's like 50-50. But even then, so he can be considered a bit of a fan favorite to part of the fan base. You have a big name in Michael Jordan
Yeah. True.
that's willing to, that has clearly signed off on, yeah, we can stake money on this if we race and we have to qualify every race to get in. That's fine.
So
I don't care.
Michael Jordan's taking the gamble.
Yep. Ugh.
Ugh.
When you put it that way. When you put it that way.
Maybe this is not a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. But so yeah, you can win a publicity battle with this and say, look, it's NASCAR's big corporation trying to take out the little guys because these are two small teams that are doing it. Maybe that's why none of the big teams signed up. Maybe it's to help the PR standpoint. But
Maybe.
I think it was still a teardown going over this. It was like NASCAR doesn't like to open up their books. And this would force them to, if you say, yeah, we're going to make you go into a courtroom, open up your financials and say, here's why we can't do this or that and the other thing, which would be hilarious because you have Michael Jordan taking on basically a big corporation in NASCAR and saying, fuck you, France family. Tell me why you can't pay me. So this could be a fun couple months here. It is a big gamble to lose your charters with how much the charters are worth these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, like it could get really dicey for them, but we're going to have to see what happens. Wow.
So, and then front row, you'd have McDowell and Gilliland out, which not like that's the other thing. So McDowell I guess has sort of become a bit of a not a favorite, but a more light guy, I'd say, since his Daytona win. But then the other two names that you'd have fighting every single week are Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. I think 2311's making a half decent gamble on this.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
And what probably ends up happening with NASCAR, again, NASCAR being a private company that doesn't want to show how much money they're making fully, they brought in the fucking tracks so that way they didn't have to show what the tracks were making.
Yep.
Right? I think they're going to get down towards the deadline and NASCAR's going to panic and say, okay, we'll give you what you want.
Well, could you imagine if NASCAR did have to show its books and all of a sudden it's not so hot?
Oh,
Then what's the reaction from the other teams where it's like, hey, you're saying you're going to pay us this, but you don't even have this. Like, what's happening? So
yeah. Or if they say, well, we'll let you keep your charter for now, then all the other teams are like, well, fuck this. Why did we sign this when you sort of forced us to, and you said you were going to take away our charters, and then here's 5 charters that are all of a sudden still being fulfilled, but they didn't have to sign on to anything. They can maybe make more money. There's a good chance like a lot of team owners get pissed off here. But if maybe it turns out where 2311 is the underdog who fights the big guy wins and everybody else benefits, so then maybe NASCAR's just sort of like, fuck, we don't make as much money as we could have. So.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
Also,
who says sports don't involve drama?
There's a clause also in the new one where like you can get fined for basically saying anything that's any ounce critical of NASCAR. Like you basically can't say anything mean or else you're fined.
Oh boy, yeah, I can see that going really well.
Even more severely than now they have it. So
yeah, that'll go over really, really well. So yeah, we'll see. Because basically now it's a game of chicken. And I mean, Hamlin and Jordan have already shown their hands of, yeah, we're okay trying to race without a charter. I mean, we have a really good car, clearly. So we know we can out-qualify people with a charter.
Yep.
Your move, NASCAR.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so from that depressing news to the final fun news to start to finish it off, IndyCar. Season coming to an end.
IndyCar.
We have Nashville for the season finale coming up. They have put on an absolute fucking clinic in terms of oval racing. The last couple races, they've been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee turned out very, very well. First race more so than the second, but
still very good racing. And now you have a championship battle in the four. Final race coming down. What are they, like 30 something points apart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. I can't math.
Hold on 1 second.
33.
Yeah,
I
30.
can't math.
Oh boy.
Well, I math worse than you, so I'm trusting 33.
So it could be a really fun race, and yeah. Who's your money on?
Honestly, willpower.
I think it has to be Power.
No, it's 100% below.
No?
He has a stupid ability to just avoid everything. The only reason Power got close is because he had a freaking like hybrid issue last race, which, you know, looks great for the series. But did you not see how many wrecks happened the last few races that just Pillow is right beside where it happens, and he's like, whoops.
Yep.
Free spots.
Yeah,
thank
true.
you.
True, very
He's
very
got
true.
a
He does have-
horseshoe, a rabbit's foot. What other lucky superstitions can you fit into a race suit?
And also, if you
anything that carries
really-
luck.
Like, he only has to finish X number of positions behind Power.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And Ganassi has 4 other cars that if any of them are even ahead, okay, guys, shuffle behind, let Pillow by you.
Yeah.
Give him at least 2 spots. I'm assuming 2. I'm assuming, like, Dixon might be up there.
Yeah, I don't
Simpson
know.
won't
I
be.
just like for this story, I would love to see it. You know what I mean?
Yes. But, like, I do like Pillow, and he is fucking good.
Oh, of course. Oh, he's fantastic.
Like, Pillow is the driver IndyCar needs. Like, that triple threat can win anywhere. And really proving it on the last few races in the ovals to keep the championship lead, despite having issues, still bring home some points. Yeah, it's a good championship fight. I don't think it went down exactly as we thought. You know, we all thought Newgarden might be in here with the oval performances.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did think that.
He'd be running away with it right now if he didn't lose those 100 points at the start of the year. He'd be 460, or actually no, he wouldn't. He'd be at 465, so he'd be behind McLaughlin. But who knows? There's too many knock-on effects to judge how that would affect every other race.
Did you see McLaughlin actually his tweets the other day?
Which one?
So he's actually eligible to win the championship. He is mathematically able to.
Oh
win
yeah. Yeah,
if Pillow does not start the race.
Oh, nice.
So he was
Okay,
like,
you know what?
he was like inviting. He's like, "Hey, Pillow, you want to come over for some sushi? I got a guy here."
Yeah, I trust the fishman. Yes.
yeah.
There's no
Oh my
poison.
gosh.
Pillow's response was hilarious because he's like, yeah, sure. Wait, on second thought,
Yeah.
maybe."
Maybe I won't.
Yeah, which is hilarious that you can be going into a championship weekend joking like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the atmosphere of IndyCar and the drivers. It's what you want to see in a sport.
Yeah. That sort of camaraderie.
I was
Yeah.
just, no bullshit.
Yep.
You can beef
Yeah,
with a guy,
no
you can be pissed
drama,
off,
no like.
but at the end of the day, it's everyone knows their place, I think, in IndyCar.
Yep. And Pillow's still top dog for now.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I'm excited for this weekend. I think it's going to be a really good race. It should be a good race based on how the last oval ones. They seem to have done really well with this oval package, despite the hybrid. Like, remember the issue coming out of Iowa where everyone's like, "Uh-oh,
Mhm.
did the hybrid
Well-
did the hybrid kill short track racing?" No, NASCAR killed short track racing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think a lot of fans know it was the track, not hybrid, that killed it at Iowa. Because every other race has
Been great.
Yeah.
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 There's been zero complaints on ovals otherwise.
Please get IndyCar to Richmond.
They said, I think
that's
Mark
not
Miles,
right.
I was going to say, I think Mark Miles sort of kiboshed that.
I fucking cannot stand Mark Miles right now. He's such a fucking asshole.
Oh, I know. Like, all of his comments, I'm like, bro, just like actually shut up though.
Like, literally, shut the fuck up. All you're
Yeah.
doing is pissing off your fans who are going to call. Like, I hope someone in Nashville has a sign that just says, "Fire Mark Miles." Please.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "Oh, we can't be doing what we've done. We have to go to new places." I'm sorry, what?
You just went back to Milwaukee. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like what are you actually talking about?
The whole
Such a like what
the
an
whole
ignorant
Pato
thing to
Award
say.
thing, the whole like, "Oh, we can't go to Mexico because Pato Award's not famous enough."
He's not the most famous
Dumb.
Mexican
So
driver we've ever
dumb.
had. What?
Fucking
Has
great-
more followers than the series itself.
Oh, like if if he actually gave a shit about the fucking series, he would maybe spend a budget of like at least maybe $10
Yeah, exactly.
to get a nephew to make a post of something. But like, Jesus Christ, Mark Miles, you are so out of touch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's very few like CEOs or commissioners or anything like that, people that run big sporting series around the world, that are actually out of touch. You, my friend, are one of them.
Yeah, honestly.
Yes.
It's just it's just so awful.
It really is. It's unbelievable how
Yeah.
stupid. And like, and I think he's made a comment like, oh, I don't read what people say online. Then
You should.
That's where your fan base is.
Yeah, like maybe you should, or hire someone to read it for you and dictate what's being said, because clearly you need to be in touch.
Yes.
Like, get in touch, sir.
Like I can't remember who. Like I saw someone tweet on it, and I think I replied to it like, I would take Randy Bernard over Mark Miles. Bernard was the guy who ran IndyCar at the time for a couple of years before the Dan Weldon thing, and he kind of had the idea of like these grand prize races and stuff.
Yes. The horrible.
No. At least he was trying.
He was trying.
He was trying for the sport, and
under
his watch, we got the DW12 chassis, a chassis that is been instrumental in saving so many lives in IndyCar.
Yes.
So, maybe his tenure was short, but wasn't so bad. But at least he was a guy who was looking for change in the series, where Mark Miles seems to be looking for a paycheck from the series and to hold on to it until Roger's in the ground. Yeah, if we can get someone under the age of 50 in charge of the series, that'd be great.
I say that about a lot of things.
We do say that about a lot of things.
God damn people. Anyway, I got nothing else to say about that.
I was gonna say the only other thing I want to talk about with Milwaukee, how good does Juncos look right now?
Oh, fucking genius.
Connor Daly finishes third, and everyone loves it.
Yeah,
everybody liked that. And
that was really good to see.
I don't know where that car is technically. I will have to do the math on it or look it up. But it's hard to imagine that he had a third place and a 17th. It's hard to imagine he didn't get that car into the winner's circle payments.
That car is currently now 20th. So
he's just inside. It counts.
He's just inside.
I'd be willing to say,
because the top 23 get paid out.
Oh, top 23.
Right.
Okay, so either way, it's still just inside, but that probably locks that car in, more or less.
Oh.
What?
Oh, looking at, dude, for the finale race, the leader circle battle is the one to watch. So, unfortunately, the last two cars in the leader circle are Dale Coyne. They're not going to move up unless something miraculous happens. Unfortunate for them. Meanwhile, the car in 2022 has 177 points. The 23rd car is 175. 2-point separation. The 24th car is 174. The 25th car is 174. You have 3 points between the 2 in and the 2 out.
Oof. Wow, that's tight.
And so the cars that are out right now, the 4, thanks Kiffin. He finished 13th last race. He's helping his cause. And the 20.
Yeah.
So the 2 cars that are in are the 41, Stingray Rob, and the 30 of Fittipaldi. That's a fascinating race.
Yeah.
I'm
interesting.
I'm rooting for the 420. Mostly so I can say I'm rooting for 420. But also, I want to see those guys make it. I'm cheering for Ed Carpenter for once, okay?
No, you're cheering for Kiffin Simpson. We know this.
Obviously.
No. And also, technically, you're cheering for Christian Rasmussen because Ed Carpenter stepped aside.
It's still his team.
Right,
like,
right.
I know, but it's his team.
I know.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, it's going to be such a good ending to IndyCar. And we get to talk about it next week. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And we won't miss another week because we're stupid. Anyway, anything else to talk about? Anything we missed? Anything on your minds?
I'm sure there's stuff. It's been 2 weeks, but there will be more time to bring stuff up.
Yeah.
With how quickly things are happening this year,
Yeah, I know, right?
Something will pop up.
Fair enough. Okay, and on that note, we'll wrap up, and we'll be back next week. Thank you very much for listening. Do the likes, do the subscribes, do all the things like that. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.